What's going on, everybody? It's Ricky with Videohomicide, and I'm back with another film review / recommendation. Today we're going to go back to the year 1972 to take a look at a film directed by Francis Ford Coppola, and that film is still on the fucking shelf. The Godfather, picked up for $3, widescreen. Like, where's the fucking complaint? Unfortunately, there's a commentary on here, but there's no special features, so that kind of sucks. But The Godfather, absolutely love this film. Grew up watching it, of course. This, along with Scarface and the King Kong film from 2005, these movies directly remind me of my grandmother, because I first watched Godfather with her. I first watched Scarface and a few other stuff, but these were like the ones that like I shouldn't have been watching, and I was always sort of like proud of, like, you know, like my dad lets me watch like horror movies and like R-rated movies and stuff. Like my grandma, and like fucking, I ended up watching Pink Flamingos with my mom, my grandpa, and my little brother. Matter of fact, Pink Flamingos is screening this month at the Highland Cinema, so I'm probably going to check that out because I love Pink Flamingos. John Waters, you know, to see that in the theater, like that's a once in a lifetime opportunity, especially around here. So I'll probably be checking that out. So, The Godfather, the story of Michael Corleone, his father Vito, and sort of Michael's almost being not forced, but like it falls into his lap that he has to sort of take the reins and become the head of this family, this crime family. Now, assuming you've seen The Godfather, I'm just going to be talking about a few of my favorite scenes. Now, my number one scene in this film is Michael, Solasso, and McCluskey in the restaurant, and Michael fucking goes in the bathroom, gets the gun, comes out, and just fucking blows him away. Like, that whole scene, I think, you know, it works as its own thing. You know what I mean? Like, if someone just released that as a short film, it would be fine and it would work. Amazing performance from Al Pacino in that film. When he comes out of the bathroom and he sits down and he's like looking back and forth and like he's contemplating, he's like, okay, like I gotta do this. You hear the train coming. I hear the train a-coming. It's rolling around the bend. Little Johnny Cash. He hears the train, gets up, and just pops both of them. And like the look on McCluskey's face when he sees Solasso get popped, I love it. I absolutely love it. And just the warmness of that, like of the scene, like you're in like this nice little cozy restaurant, not too fancy, and it just turns to bloodshed. To me, I love it. You know, everything about it. One thing that needs to be mentioned about The Godfather is there was a phenomenal video game called The Godfather that was on PS2, and then they end up making a Godfather 2 on 360 or Xbox One, whatever it was. Wasn't, like, to me, I think this was the one that stood out, like the original game. But you know, you get to sort of, much like the Warriors game, you kind of go in depth and you know, see some stuff with Luca Brasi you wouldn't have seen, and different characters. So another scene in this film that really stands out to me, although I'm not the biggest fan of the actress, because I feel like sometimes, like, I hate the cunt. I fucking hate her in part 2 when she shows up with that husband and they're asking for money and all that stuff. But Talia Shire, I believe is her name. I could be wrong on that, but whoever the fuck Michael's sister is, that scene where she's arguing with the husband and she like destroys everything, and he like that seems so fucking like crazy and real and just very almost like uncomfortable to watch, you know, but effective. And that's the thing, like that's what I search for in films. I want my emotions to change. I want to feel something. You know, you don't feel fucking anything when you watch modern day movies, but when you pop in a movie like this, you know, especially if you've been around any type of like European, I'm married to a Portuguese woman, and her family is very much like, you know, it's not like my family. You know what I'm saying? Like they're much more. It's hard to describe, but like my family's not exactly like, you know, put out a fucking, you know, a huge fucking spread just because like someone's coming over to like drop off like a fucking, you know, piece of mail or something. It turns into like a 9-hour visit. You know what I'm saying? But with this movie being being touted as like a family film, not like for families to watch, like little Junior and Beverly with popcorn watching the fucking horse head in the bed scene, like that's not going to go over well. But this is a movie about a man and his 3 sons, and, you know, I think in order, like, to understand this film, like, you have to watch the other ones, you know, watch part 2 and 3, especially part 2. Like, once you've seen part 2, Vito Corleone is a completely different guy, you know, because when I was a kid, I'd seen The Godfather 1 a bunch of times before I seen Godfather 2. And then when I finally watched Godfather 2 and then rewatched part 1, Vito is a totally different guy. You know what I mean? He's just a stand-up dude. And, you know, even like when he gets shot at in The Godfather 1, when he gets shot at and like by that vegetable stand, like, this is just a guy that, you know, is trying to provide for his family whatever way he can. You know what I mean? And he's buying some fruit and then you get shot, you know? Crazy, man. Crazy. But, a few other scenes that really stick out to me is like the sit down with the five families, Barzini, Tatalia, Cuneo, and Strozzi, I believe. So you get like that banter and stuff, like, you know, that's not going to bring your son back to you or my son to me, all that shit. James Caan is obviously fantastic in this film as Sonny. Fredo, I forget the name. Who the fuck plays Fredo again? His name is not on the back here, but he's also amazing in part 2 as well. But also, fuck, what's that movie where they Dog Day Afternoon? That is a good fucking flick too. So goes right into like this era. Like, you know, Al Pacino did a lot of really good movies. You know, like, he's known, when I think of Pacino, I think of Scarface, I think of Michael Corleone, but you can't forget Serpico and you can't forget Cruising. You know what I mean? So with that being said, The Godfather, one of my favorite movies of all time, and I'll go on record that scene in the restaurant when Michael kills those guys is fucking awesome. And another whole portion I've totally forgot to mention, when he goes to Italy, you know what I mean? He goes to Italy and he's walking the countryside with his buddies, and that scene where like the guy in the car comes up with the fucked up leg, and you learn in part 2 that guy gets shot helping Vito Corleone. It just makes it so much more deep. You know, it is a saga. I watched a documentary on it last night, and this guy said it's a saga, and it really is. It really is. It's like the life story of Vito Corleone, like, told through those movies, is just, man, jaw-dropping to me. So when they go to that house and they're like describing the girl, and then the guy's like, that's my daughter or whatever, and Michael plays like a total pimp thing, and he's like, you know, totally respectful and all that stuff, under the supervision of your family. I would love to meet your daughter and this and that. Wow. Godfather, dude. Recommend it. Play the video game too if you get a chance. So leave a 666 in the comments, and with that being said, adios.